If you are just starting to learn how to do vibrato, here are a few tips that can help you. The motion is always front and back and front and back, never side to side, so this would be wrong. You want to make sure that your finger starts curved, and then you pull back your forearm from the elbow to the hand. You're going to pull it back without bending the wrist like that. So you want to keep your wrist straight. So pretend you're going to slide your finger on the string, but now your finger is glued to the string, so when you try to slide it back, your arm moves but not your finger, because your finger is glued. So you're gonna go back and have a nice round finger, and then try to slide it back, but then your finger is still glued. And this is literally the motion, very, very slowly, what it looks like. Here's finger 2. You start with the finger curved, then when you push back your arm, your finger flattens, and then curved, flattens, curved, flattens. Here's your finger 1. You start curved, then you go back and it flattens. So another way you can practice if you're just starting to learn how to do vibrato is you're gonna move your hand close to the body of the violin. Doesn't matter what note you're playing right now, it doesn't really matter. But you want your hand to touch right here. And remember, your wrist is straight and your finger is very curved, and you remember to keep your thumb right around your index finger. Now when you pull back, you should not be touching at all, and your finger should look a little bit flatter. And then when you come back to a round finger, your hand should be touching the violin. So you can just practice doing this and feeling that the hand is away from the violin, and then touching, and make it very exaggerated in the beginning so that you're gonna teach your hand to do this. And then when you do it fast, it's literally the same motion, but it's so much faster that it doesn't look like that, like two different back and forward and backward and forward. It just looks like your hand is, it kind of looks like shaking, but it's not really shaking. It's just going back and forth really quick. You see how the finger has to be very flexible, and there cannot be any tension. You can't be like grabbing too hard. You can't be touching the neck of the violin with any other part of your hand except your thumb is resting here. And then sometimes your index finger, like the base of the finger, will just rub gently with the neck, because of course your hand has to be close enough to keep round fingers, so you can't like keep it out like that, but it's super loose. So after you've done that a couple tries, doing it without the bow, then you're going to try to make 2 notes with the bow. Same motion, but you want to hear the 2 notes, just like an ambulance. It's not a pretty sound, but you have to start like that. Then what you want to try to do is, when you practice up here, doesn't matter what note you're playing, but you can still use a bow to hear those 2 notes. So remember, your hand is touching, and that's going to be your first note, and then when your hand is not touching and your finger is flattened, That's your second note. Then go to finger 2. Then go to finger 1. Do it slow like that and progressively a little bit faster each time, and your vibrato will come along real good.